This is Machukanyarieko TV talk show, where we analyze politics and governance issues. We focus on national, local, and international news. We examine the political way of our people, social and economic. Nyarieko TV talk show, the house of ideas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to Machukanyarieko TV talk show, the house of ideas. Today, allow me to focus on one main topic that has emerged, especially during this time of political alignment, whereby David Maraga, who is a possible presidential candidate, is being tagged as a project. A project is a person who is associated with not being independent in an election, but who has been imposed to divide votes. And here comes my question. Is David Maraga a project? And if it's a project, whose project is Maraga? Does Maraga qualify to be a project? So those are the few questions that this video or this analysis seeks to uncover. But before we proceed, if in case you are watching this channel for the first time, and if you have been watching and sometimes we forget to subscribe, or we think it's an expensive exercise to subscribe, kindly subscribe. And this is not an expensive exercise. You just take a second, 2 or 3 to press the subscribe button, and it is free. It only adds value because wherever we produce another video, YouTube will automatically notify you, and you become the first or among the first consumer of the new information. In this channel, we analyze politics, we explain political phenomenon, we discuss why politicians adopt a given political behavior in different political situations. And to those who are our subscribers, thank you for your continued support. We cannot take it for granted. It has been massive. Back to our topic. Is David Maraga a project? If he is a project, whose project is he? If he is not a project, why are they calling him a project? Because I've explained what a project means. But before we dig deeper into that, briefly, we can give the background information who Maraga is. And in this case, I will focus as the time when he was a public servant at the top of the realm of the judiciary, that is the president of the Supreme Court. At this top position, Maraga made important decisions through him and his brigade. Maraga is credited for having failed, suspended the PBI constitutional amendment that was brought before his judges, one of them being Judge Joel Ngugi, who is now a professor, a very brilliant man. It was described as unconstitutional. Maraga is the man who declared the 2017 presidential elect as not having followed the due process, leading to repeat elections. It's also the man who, when the ODM boycotted the elections, hoping that the elections were going to be declared null and void for the second time, allowed the then President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta through the votes to continue with his leadership. He's a man, when he stood at the corridors of the Supreme Court, every member of the public the masses, including the public service servants, listened to. Some man who works with kings but cannot miss a touch with the common man. Maraga has been credited from being a staunch Christian, that is a Seventh-day Adventist. Seventh day has got its own reputation on standing with its culture, more especially not interfering with a Saturday, which they believe is a holiday and no major activities can be done. While Maraga was at the top of the position, he did this. And Kenya, being a religious and a secular state, did respect his opinion. Maraga is credited for making the judiciary look to be independent. But is here a project? What are the possible scenarios? I said a project, a political project, is a person who has been imposed in order to divide votes in a given region. Is Maraga one? One. Everything is possible. Maraga can be a state project. In this case, when we talk of a state project, a person who has been sponsored by those who are at the top and feel threatened, and therefore they will spend much of their resources to see that at the background of Maraga, because this is where Okengo Matiangi hails from, his votes are divided. And immediately Maraga, President William Ruto took the reins of power. He appointed Chief Justice Maraga to oversee the police reforms, and he came up with a very good report. So William Samoei Ruto can extend his friendship to that. It can as well not be true that Maraga is a project. We saw some young people, the Gen Zs, go to his press and request him to go for the top seat. This could have been a time when they touched him, when they made him feel that he can as well become the next head of state. Maraga may have been given this tag because he did announce this after Fred Okengo Matiangi's ambitions and the declarations have been known. Therefore, the members of the public, the lovers, the supporters of Fred Okengo Matiangi will associate him with being a spoiler. Of course, Maraga is well known for his independence, especially on what he did at the judiciary. But in politics, he will not go scot-free. He will have to carry the dirty linens. He will have to convince people why he stood when he knew a person whom they come with from the same village, Nyamira, is standing for presidents. A person whom they worked with while him as a CS for security and him in charge of the Supreme Court. But this has happened before. While Matiba was expected by many to be the sole presidential candidate, Mwai Kibaki emerged, and the people were feeling that Mwai Kibaki was state-sponsored by Moi. Moi was a master planner. He used to do the same. He used to sack cabinet ministers and appoint another one from the same region immediately. What is your take? Give your comment. Is Maraga independent? Tomorrow, I will be doing some mock elections to choose between the Maraga presidents, Morara presidents, and Fred Okengo Matiangi. We have to know who is who from the banana land. So tomorrow, don't go far. This is Machukanyarieko TV talk show, the house of ideas. Thank you, and continue watching our videos. Like them, share, And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. Have a pleasant evening.